What's up, Tim? How you doing, man?
Hey man, how are you?
Good, good. Hopefully you had a good weekend.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. We got Kevin on the line as well.
How you doing this evening, Miles?
Good, Kevin. How are you?
Just pulled in the driveway at the house.
Awesome. I can hear you fine. Um, just like before, we're going to record this slideshow, this talk, and that way I'll send it out. So if there's any points that you missed or you want to go back over, remind yourself of, you'll have a chance to do that. I will post that in the WhatsApp. We'll give some folks a few more minutes and then we will get started and respect y'all's time.
Are we still doing the Facebook thing?
So I talked to about half the people there, and people were saying they didn't want to do Facebook. So every bit of information that I give is going to be through the WhatsApp. I talked to Chris about it, and he preferred it to go that way, so everybody had a chance to see it. Even people that I guess were a part of the company that aren't doing the challenge. So that's why he had decided to move to WhatsApp. So everything you see from me will be through WhatsApp.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That way you don't have any extra apps to do or anything like that. Let's see, I am recording. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, happy Tuesday. Let's see, we got lots going on, and I figured this would be a good time to get some information in about the topic this week, which is hydration, why you should care about it. Most of you I sat down with about a week and a half ago. One of the questions I asked you when you did your initial body fat scan was, how much water are you drinking a day? And that matters. That matters for a lot of reasons. So we're going to go over why that matters, how that could potentially affect you adversely, both at your home and on the job, how the physical and health dangers that are presented as a result of dehydration. And we're also going to talk about some common solutions that you can easily add into your daily routine that'll help you manage your hydration levels. So I'm going to share my screen. Anyone else who comes on, I will let them in the meeting. Can you guys see this okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Move this out of the way. All right. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about dehydration, and the agenda today. We're going to define it because a lot of times we hear that word, but we're not sure exactly what it means. We're going to talk about what could cause dehydration for folks. We're going to talk about the dangers and symptoms of dehydration. And then also we're going to talk about misconceptions about, what it might take to stay hydrated year round. A lot of times people think as the temperature cools off outside, we head into the cooler months like we are now, that dehydration risks go away, and that's not the case. So we're going to talk about that, and we need to understand that this is a foundational part of our health and fitness. So if you're someone who's looking to lose body fat, looking to lose weight, or gain lean mass, this is why dehydration and hydration are going to be so important. So let's go ahead and define that. The actual dehydration definition it occurs when your body loses more fluid than it takes in. Your body doesn't have enough water and other fluids to carry out its normal functions, which we'll talk about those. We're going to get into the causes of dehydration. A lot of times people think it's just being outside and, being around warm weather. Not always the case. The most common cause is not drinking enough fluids. You may be inside all day for your job, never having to be out in the heat. But if you're not getting enough fluids in, then you can set yourself up to be at risk for dehydration. Obviously, sweating is another big cause, whether that's through exercise or strenuous work. I've talked to a number of you who were out in the field when you work, and being outside and working physical labor, that can also lead to dehydration if we're not managing that process. Let's say you become ill. vomiting, diarrhea, those are things that allow our bodies to lose fluids quickly and at a dangerous level. So if we're in a period where we're sick, we're experiencing those two things as a result of being sick, we need to be mindful of that. Maybe we're urinating and maybe it's a result of a medication or something else, and we're not being mindful of taking in the fluids that we lose from urination. So urinating is too much is also a cause. There are certain medications out there. Always, if you're on a medication, please be mindful of side effects or any other directions that your doctor
Get
gives
down.
for medications. The other thing that, and we'll talk about this as the challenge progresses, is sleep. I ask a lot of you guys about sleep, and some of you were saying you're getting 4 or 5 hours a night of sleep. So we need to talk about that too, because if you're 6 hours or less,
Too much stuff, huh?
you're at risk.
Are you nice?
Yeah.
Are you nice? Hi.
Waiting for
Second, I'm gonna mute,
What's your last name?
Rogers.
sorry, I'm gonna mute Kevin there. All right. Dangers of dehydration, right? We're gonna also include these as symptoms. So those of you who are driving for a living, driving just to and from work, dizziness while operating heavy machinery is absolutely a risk for you. So you need to be mindful of that. Muscle cramps. I've got a personal story about this. Maybe you've heard of an outdoor race called the Tough Mudder. I ran the first Tough Mudder in the state of Georgia, which was in 2011. And I had no idea about the risk of dehydration. I was a young guy in shape. It was a cooler time of the year, early spring, water was really cold, and I paid hydration 0 mind. After completing the event, I had to go straight to the tent for emergency medical treatment, and that included for me receiving IV fluids. I'm not even 30 years of age when that happened, and that was a scary time because I was experiencing just extreme muscle cramps, and had something like that happen while I was in the water in that event, results could have been catastrophic. So muscle cramps are a big thing. I know a lot of you guys are lifting heavy pieces of glass, so you need to be mindful of that. Headaches, can't always just pop medicine when you feel like you're getting a headache. You need to ask yourself, have I been drinking enough fluids? Is that the cause for my headache and not something else? Confusion kind of goes up there with dizziness. When you're confused, that relates to loss of productivity with work. Obviously, putting yourself or other people around you at danger is another issue there. And that's where that increased injury risk kind of goes into that as well with confusion. And then tachycardia, increased heart rates. What does that mean? So you're sitting down resting like we are right now, and your heart rate is elevated, and it stays elevated over 100 beats per minute. And that heart rate stays that high, you're putting yourself at risk for a lot of other health issues. So these are big and very real dangers of dehydration, and want you guys to be aware of those. So how do you check? How can you check yourself if you don't have access to a medical tent where someone can, pump IVs into you and they can tell you that you're dehydrated? There are things that you can do to check for yourselves. One is your urine color. Take a look at your urine color, especially if you've been active, you've been strenuous, you're not feeling like yourself. When you go to the bathroom, if you're even able to go to the bathroom, take a look at that. That urine is dark. When I say dark, like apple juice or dark yellow, that is your body sign saying, hey, we need some hydration. And if you can keep that urine color light, that's also a good measure. If you're not someone who can always keep track of how much water you drink, take a look at your urine level, and that'll help you out a lot as far as helping you with that. Not even able to urinate at all. I've seen some athletes who've experienced that, and that's also due to severe dehydration. If you've got dry mouth, dry tongue, that's another thing that you should look at. Okay, have I been drinking enough fluids? Your skin temperature, dry or cool. You're getting kind of that sensation on your skin that feels a little bit drier than normal. Make sure you check your fluids. People ask me all the time, what about the skin pinch test? Absolutely. A few different ways to do that. I know growing up for me, it was always kind of pinching the back of my hand, but you could also do the same thing with your cheek or chest. Now, if you're someone who's older or you want to do this pinch test on someone that you know is maybe 70 years and up, obviously as we get older, we're not going to have that same skin elasticity if someone is elderly and we're doing that test on. So be mindful of that and make sure you check a couple other ways instead of just relying on the skin pinch test to do that. You should be able to hold that skin for a few seconds and that skin should return right back to form. But if it stays pinched, we know we've got some hydration problems. So how do we stay hydrated year round? I want to spend some time on this slide and want you guys to, after I get through everything, excuse me, want you to ask me any questions that you have as well. Obviously, we can drink more water. A lot of people wait until they're thirsty to start drinking, and that's a mistake. Some people just don't know how much water they should drink. We've always grown up with drink 8 glasses of water a day. Well, that depends. If you're way more active and you weigh more than 120, 130 pounds, you probably have to drink more. The gold standard is half your body weight in ounces. So if you're a 200-pound person, that gold standard means you're having to have 100 ounces of water a day. Now, if you're someone who drinks 1 to 2 bottles a day, that's maybe 30 ounces. The last thing you want to do is start with a 100-ounce a day goal if you're only drinking 25 to 30 ounces. You need to start with manageable goals, ones that are easily attainable, and move up from there. Don't try to, if you saw my graphic that I posted in the group, in the WhatsApp group last week, you don't want to take those huge jumps because then that's how we burn out. We want to take those small discipline jumps. So if you're somebody who's drinking 2 bottles of water a day, your goal should be, let me see if I can get to 4 bottles a day. And let me see if I can hold that for a while before I try to change that habit. I know in the body fat testing meeting, I spoke to a lot of you about that. You don't want to take big jumps. So I know you may be motivated to do that, but please keep in mind, let's think about steady wins the race. We've got 9 more weeks of this contest, plus the rest of your life to learn how to have those good habits and build them up slowly. Another thing that you can do is you can flavor your water. So that means if you're someone who enjoys maybe the taste of orange or the taste of lime or the taste of strawberry, you can add a splash of fruit juice in the water. If you don't like that mundane, boring taste of water, that's an option for you. I know for me, when I get bored with water, another thing I will do is I'll try to add club soda into the mix and do it that way. So I get a little bit of flavor, but I also get a little bit of carbonation, and that will help too. When we're drinking water, we want to also make sure we have some electrolytes. What are those? Potassium, magnesium, calcium. You need to start reading some labels. There are a lot of hydration packets out and hydration products. That market has just kind of exploded in the last couple of years. So you need to be mindful if you're going to watch and look for these electrolyte packets. Make sure they're not overloaded with sugar and other preservatives. If you have specific questions about the ones that you consume or you're thinking about consuming, please send me a message in WhatsApp. I'm happy to take a look at your individual label and help you find a good choice. Some of you love water, and that's okay too. So even though I'm bringing up the concept of flavoring your water, that's not something that you have to do. That's just suggestions for people who feel like they get bored with that taste of water. Another game changer for me has been finding a water bottle that has a straw in it. If I'm just drinking this bottle of water here, I'll drink it, but subconsciously I'll put it down after, putting my entire mouth on it, and I'll go on to something else. But if I've got a straw, I will absolutely drink more water every single time I pick this bottle up. If you're not a believer in that, no problem. Put it to the test yourself. Try it out. See what happens when you drink water with no straw, just out of the bottles, and see what happens when you use a straw. I guarantee you'll drink more water than you have been without the straw. So that's another secret that I've learned over the years that makes me drink way more water. and I don't have to think about it as much. Repeating again, realistic goals for the daily consumption. One of the things also I like to do is set a timer on my phone. So I might say every 90 minutes, I'm going to have one of these. If my goal is to have 5 of these a day, and that's my manageable goal, and I know my workday about lasts, 8 to 10 hours, 90 minutes. Every 90 minutes, I'm going to have that timer go off, and I'm going to take one of these down. And that'll give myself some time to digest it, also go to the restroom, versus having a big 70-ounce jug and say, okay, I'm going to drink this twice a day. And you're doing this, and then your brain's going to be like, oh, I'm tired of this. This seems excessive. It should not feel excessive. It should feel natural and consistent. But if you're not consistent, that's okay. That's what you need to work on. That's going to be your specific goal. So once you think about giving yourself those realistic goals, drinking out of a straw, using the timer if you need to. Some of you are fancy and you want to have a specific app. There are specific water consumption apps on iOS and Android that you could take a look at if you need that extra help. But this is a game changer for a lot of you. If you don't get the hydration part right, it's not going to matter as far as what else you're doing in terms of nutrition and fitness and things like that. Okay. Some of you, I've talked a lot about alcohol, and we need to understand what role alcohol plays. It gives us a lot of calories, and then what we call empty calories. So meaning we have caloric load that our body needs to digest, but we get no benefit. So there's no protein, like we're eating some chicken or salmon or seafood or anything like that. No carbohydrates to help with our brain, and no fat to help with our organs. So in that case, we're looking at taking in a lot of fluid and alcohol, yet our body is losing hydration as a result. So if you are someone who regularly drinks alcohol, take a look at your weekly or daily intake and see if there are ways to limit or reduce that and substitute it with water. A lot of times we go for alcohol when we are dehydrated. So what would happen to our desire for alcohol if we drank more bottles of water or more water out of your larger water container, whatever it is? If you're drinking more water, notice what that does to other things. Notice what it does to your snack cravings. Those of you who talk to me about excess snacking, whether it's excess salty foods, excess sweets, a lot of times that can be attributed to not having enough water. So be mindful of alcohol and sweets. When you replace it with water, see what happens to your body. Another thing people don't realize that can help with hydration is increased fruits and vegetables also provide hydration to our body. So we're not just eating greens just for the sake of eating greens because we were always told to. There's so many benefits to that, and one is hydration. So if you are committing, and I've talked to you, or you or your spouse or your partner are committing to having a little bit more color to your plate, you're going to have some other benefits like hydration when you do that. You don't have to be fancy with vegetables. Sometimes if I'm a dad and I've got, my 2 kids and my wife's working late, we have frozen vegetables. They're super easy. I take them out of the freezer. I'll plug them in the air fryer, have a little bit of seasoning with salt and pepper, and I'm ready to go to feed myself and my daughters if my wife isn't around to help me cook. So there are easy ways to get fruits and vegetables without having to plan ahead of time or grab and grow. That is my philosophy. I don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about my food. The other things that we can do to stay hydrated is dress for the weather. Even though we're in November, we still see temperatures in 80 degrees or above. And like I said, because we're in November, people think, okay, I can do without the sunscreen. It's not July anymore. I can do without the head coverings. But that's not the case. When your skin overheats because you're wearing darker clothes or very tight fitting clothes and you're not managing that, it is very much more difficult to stay hydrated. So be mindful of your clothes, even when you're going to be outside a lot. That may not be just for work. That may also be for, outdoor sporting events, family events, traveling, things like that. Some of you have talked to me about wanting to do more biking outside, walking, running. Be mindful of the sun. Make sure you're still using your sunscreen. Make sure you're dressing appropriately. All right. So these are the opening things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I know we've got some folks on the call, and just wanted to give you guys a chance to ask any questions. Also, use this time to tell me how you're doing since our body fat exam last week, or the week before. I want to know how things are going along. If you've got any initial thoughts, questions, frustrations. I want to spend the next maybe 10 minutes seeing if you guys have any questions on that. So feel free. You can use Zoom feature to raise your hand, or it's a small group. You can just speak, and whoever I see speaks first, we'll go from there. I feel like, Tim, I always chat with you, and you got so much to tell me, Tim. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how things are going with the challenge, and then just
So I'm working out more. So I'm doing the rowing machine almost every day.
Awesome. How's that feeling?
It's rough. It's a death machine, dude. I'm working with small weights at home, 10 pounds, nothing real big.
Okay.
Just barbells. I have a hard time doing push-ups because it hurts my shoulders.
Okay.
But I do the rowing machine almost every day, 5 days a week since we've talked.
Excellent. No, that sounds
Yeah.
good. Let me
Now
ask.
I missed today because I had to meet the wife at the bank, so I missed my workout after work.
Okay, no problem. On the push-ups, Tim, if you can you see my screen okay?
Yes, sir.
Tell me if one of these two positions looks like what you're doing. I know a lot of people that tell me that push-ups hurt their shoulders. They tend to let their elbows flex out like this and their fingers point towards each other. Do your push-ups look like this, or do they look something closer to this?
That right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sort of straight-handed. I done these things when I was locked up. I done these things a lot.
Yes, sir.
Back,
Okay.
I could do a lot when I first got out.
Okay.
As I got older, I've had shoulder problems and things like that. I'm still less than 20 push-ups so far.
Okay.
I keep working on it though.
Yeah. So one thing you could do too, Tim, is think about using your phone and give yourself a little bite. So let's say when you say 20, is that 20 in a row without stopping, or just 20 in general, and then you're getting real kind of fatigued?
Well, I get fatigue around 10,
Okay.
and then I'll push a few more, and then I'll stop, and then I'll rest a while,
Okay.
and I'll try to get down to 5 or 6 more.
Okay.
So when I first started doing these when I was incarcerated, I
Yes,
couldn't
sir.
do one, and I just do one a day. And I had a lot of time, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So I would do one, then I'd do two the next time, and then I'd do three. And it got where I could roll a deck of cards, because in jail you use a deck of cards. Face cards are 15,
Right.
and your regular cards are whatever they call.
Yes,
I
sir.
got to flipping 6 or 7 cards at a time.
Okay.
When I come out, I was probably in the best shape of my life. I weighed 155,
Okay.
and but it didn't last long. You know what I'm saying? I got out, the weight fell off.
Yeah.
I got to moving around more,
Right. Right.
and things like that.
I got a challenge for you, Tim. Here's what I'd like to see. You say you get up to 20 before you get fatigue. How about we do this? It may seem real easy at first. I want you to write this down, or go back and listen to this video when I send it to you after I recorded it. I want you to set a timer for 10 minutes. And every 60 seconds, I want you to do 3 push-ups, just 3.
Okay.
So if it takes you, let's say, 10 seconds to do 3, you're going to have 50 seconds to rest and recuperate. And then boom, minute number 2 comes, hit me 3. And I want you to see if you can do that for 10 minutes. If you do it for 10 minutes, you would have done 30 push-ups. But I'm going to manage your rest a little bit. So that way you don't kind of overdo it at first, hitting those 5, 6, 7 in a row. And then you're like, oh man, I'm getting fatigued. So I want to see if you can do that, Tim. And if you can, let me know. And then I'd like to monitor that for you.
Okay. So
yes, sir.
set a timer every 60 seconds. Do 3.
Let's do 3, and let's see if you can
rest. And then when the second minute goes around, and do that for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it. You got it.
That sounds simple enough.
Okay. What other questions did you have, Tim?
I think I'm good with hydration. I'm drinking more water these days.
Okay,
Uh,
excellent.
is there anything that, so my most of mine was muscle gain.
Yep.
Is there anything I can do beyond the exercises that we're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about what you like to do. Obviously, Chris, the way the workout is set up, you've got some squats in there, rowing, push-ups. Was it sit-ups? Was that the fourth movement?
We got sit-ups, push-ups, air squats, and the rowing. So I'm
Okay.
doing the rowing.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, squats at home would be an awesome way to build muscle up and just get yourself stronger. It would build your core up too. Just basic squats. You don't have to add any weight with them with your dumbbells or anything. Just setting your feet up. I think Chris went over with you the range of motion and what he's looking for. But
correct.
practicing those squats would be amazing, Tim. Like we could have so much fun with just push-ups and squats with you, man. Then we can come up with fun little, intervals to do where we could say, okay, those push-ups got easy for you, Tim. How about this? Every 60 seconds, do 3 push-ups and 3 squats. And then every 60 seconds, do that. See if you can do that for 10 minutes and see what kind of workout that gives you. So I don't want to give you too much too soon, but I'd like you to start with the push-ups first. But then I would like to incorporate squats with you as well.
Right, because I started doing squats holding 10-pound weights, one in
Okay.
each hand.
Okay.
Because even when I went to the gym, I didn't do a lot of weight.
Okay.
I just sort of toned myself. I didn't strength train or none of that stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
Because I don't want to hurt myself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm one of them I get out of the meeting ding dong and hurt myself in the process, and there's no sense in that.
Right. I agree.
I'm not trying to get ripped. I'm probably not going to be bulky. My frame body is what it is. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, let's build up the push-ups with you. And then next time we talk next week, I want to see how that goes. And then maybe we add in some squats as well. See how that goes.
okay, I'll do that this week for 10 minutes. I'll do 3. So if I do 3, do I stand up and then get back down and do 3?
No, you can stay kind of on your knees if you want or down on the ground. You don't have to stand up if you don't want to. It's up to you.
Okay.
Kevin, I thought might have had some questions too, but he might have accidentally disconnected himself. So Jason, I'm gonna ask you how things are going this week. Any questions on hydration or anything in particular? Anything else?
No, hydration is pretty straightforward. I do basically everything that you said as far as like monitoring my urine,
Yes, sir.
trying to track as much water as I drink.
Right.
Everything I'm doing, we're doing more as a family.
Okay,
So
great.
we try to go walking at least about 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, I love that. You take your 5-year-old, right? You take her with you, your princess?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
we take her with us. She cheats a little bit because she goes on the scooter, but
it. That's okay. But you guys are bonding, you're having a family time. I love that.
oh yeah, and now it's become routine for us. So every day she makes sure that hey, I want to go walking, or I want to go on the scooter.
Yeah.
So it's becoming habits forming, which is good.
Yeah.
We basically, like I told you, like basically keto. Meat and veggies.
Right.
Low carb fruits for my daughter. Not a high sugar fruits.
Right.
And then, like I said, just a lot of water. Even for her, we trim out a lot of juice.
Yep.
So like my wife was just saying, she gets a little bit of carbs, but nothing near as bad as it was.
Okay.
We all doing as a family and trying to invest in some weight in the next coming week or so.
Yes, sir.
So we could do a little bit of weight. So I'll probably be reaching out to you
Okay.
in reference to that, so you could give us some type of ideas as to,
I
you know,
love that.
how to do a little, you know, a little building, I guess,
Okay.
you know,
I'm excited to see how you guys progress on that. And if you
yeah, and then I'm gonna send you my food schedule, I guess, like what we talked about. I'll send it to you because I know we talked about that, and you said you want to see like what I eat in a week.
right.
So I'll send it over to you probably through Facebook in a message.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah, like tonight I had a acorn squash and like a rotisserie chicken
Okay. Sounds great.
and some asparagus.
Okay.
You know,
I love
so
that. I'm
yeah,
so
so
proud of you. I'm super
yeah,
excited.
so you trying to giving it a shot. You know, I had my physical yesterday. And you know, looked like I might have dropped about 8 pounds, but I know that's mainly water weight.
Yeah, correct.
You know, so it just could keep on this path, and you know, just like your little meme you posted as far as motivation versus discipline.
Yes, sir.
You know, just trying to be disciplined in reference to what we're doing, so it becomes habit forming more or less.
I love that. No, that sounds great. That's the other thing about hydration. When we are properly hydrated, it doesn't seem this way, but your body will reduce weight in water weight. It's like anything
Yeah.
else. When we're not hydrated enough, that body wants to hold on to what it has, which usually results in excess water weight gain, water retention. But when you're showing your body, hey, look, this is going to be a regular thing with me hydrating you, then your body will respond. Okay, I can let go of some of that excess water retention since I'm actually getting enough. So keep up the good work, man. I'm really proud of you and excited to see how your journey goes. So yeah, reach out to me either through WhatsApp or Facebook, and be glad to lend a hand with the weights when they arrive, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. But in regards to what you just said too, I always notice that when you do change that way of eating and you do get more exercise in, you tend to go to the bathroom more.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You
You,
do.
you tend to push that excess water out as long as you hydrating properly, like you said.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Kevin, talk to me, my friend. What's going on with you?
Oh, well, I've tried to cut my sugar on my Dr. Pepper's back a little bit, so and increase my water, but I already drink a lot of water anyway, but I just try to cut some more Dr. Peppers out of that, add more water to it.
Were you the guy that we were at 6? You were at 6 a day? Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we said we were gonna go to what? 3?
I think I've had one today. I had one at lunch today. I haven't had one since I got home, but I ain't been home but like 10 minutes. Well, 20 minutes now.
Are you the spelunking guy? You do the
Yes, but I talked to my buddy Daryl
yeah,
this past weekend.
yeah.
We're going to try to plan a group in 2 weeks out from now.
Awesome.
So, yeah, he's ready to go. He's like, yeah, I need to get back into it. And my 6-year-old, I know he's ready to go give it a try.
I'm pumped for you. Make sure you send us some pictures when you get out there. I'd love to see it.
I can send some pictures when I get in there. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to check that out.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm excited for you guys. Any other questions for me? Like I said, I know it's a busy, crazy night, so I wanted to respect y'all's time. And again, this is being recorded, so I will post it on my YouTube channel and then send a link to it like I did in my last video.
Nah, I ain't got no questions right now. I'm trying to pick up more walking a little bit more. I put that tracker on my phone where it keeps up with how many miles you're doing a day.
Right.
And then I'm slowly getting that average up more, but I've been parking where they got us parking from the job site to the building. That's a half mile almost on its own. So it works out.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Okay. Well, I enjoyed hearing y'all's awesome voices and chatting with you guys again. I think we're gonna probably shoot for doing this every Tuesday. I think it works best for my schedule, but I will let you know ahead of time in the WhatsApp group when the next one is. I'll also give you the next week's subject But I'll just be watching you guys. Feel free to reach out, WhatsApp, Facebook, and I'm proud of you guys. Very much proud of y'all. Keep up the good work. Like I said, baby steps every single week. I will talk to y'all soon. Reach out to me anytime. All right.
Sounds good, Miles.
You enjoy your
All
evening.
right, man. Enjoyed it.
Okay. Talk to y'all soon.
See ya.
All right. Take care.